within sales, I didn't know this, but Matt was talking to me and he said, Mike, there's 4 things within the sales process that I believe people have to be dangerously good at. And so he really broke it down, and I wanted to make this a talk. So when it comes to selling in this space, this is probably the most important topic for us to cover today. The sales skills that most of us in this industry don't have, but the top 5% do. And if you want to be dangerously good in your business, you're going to want to be dangerously good at these things. All right. So being a top 5%er means you're maximizing the revenue and profit that can be made in your studio. And more importantly, without the owners having to operate in the business so they can work on expanding into other locations or current operations, creating opportunities for their employees and members. Now, there really are just 4 areas in the sales process that we need you to be dangerously good at, and I strongly suggest you write these down. Okay, now the giant next to me is a man named Matt Kafora, or Mr. Kafora, AKA the Viking. Seriously though, this man truly has grown on me, has added a tremendous amount of value, not only to my life and to the life of the employees at Loudrumor and our company, but to many of you guys in this room. And so he's just a good man, achieved a lot in his life and business-wise. He's got 7 fitness studios doing $120,000 to $130,000 per month. Incredible profit, running without him having to visit them. And that's with the top franchise in the space, Orange Theory Fitness. And his stores, I mean, he's had the number 1 and the number 4 store. So you're talking like the best of the best. All right, Mr. Kafora, the floor is yours. Let's talk about area number 1.
Yeah, so area number 1 is our lead generation, right? Sales in our space is actually pretty simple. Simple, not easy, simple. And it all starts with the lead generation. So what is lead generation? Well, we get leads. We get names, phone numbers, emails, and we get them from all sources by having this omnipresent type effect. This is truly our lifeblood. Without leads coming in, we can have the best business in the entire world, have the best coaches that can deliver the best workout. But if nobody knows about us, we are dead in the water. So this is truly our lifeblood. Now, what else this does is we get to a certain level, and oftentimes we can plateau. We need more eyes. We need more guests. We need more bodies. This helps us to avoid the plateaus. Anyone ever have a slow month? What's cool is when I have 500, 600 leads to bang through and start calling, now my bad sales month can turn into a good sales month. But without the leads, that's never happening. The only way that that happens is by building that, filling that pipeline. If we are not so hyper-focused on lead generation, we again will die. Our business will fall to pieces every single time, okay? So this actually allows us to really increase our warm and organic leads as well. This allows us to run through the lead nurture process because remember, we only have one chance for a first impression. So our lead nurture process is where we establish that first impression, get them to take action and get them in, okay? Which subsequently improves member retention. Right? Increases our lifetime value, increases the likelihood for referrals, right?
Area number 2, Matt. What's area number 2?
Okay. Area number 2 is our intake and handoff. Guys, I cannot stress the importance of this in our business. If we do not master this piece specifically, you will not grow to the level that you want. You will not have the success that you want. You will not make the money you want. You will not impact the lives of both your members and your employees. I promise you. So, what is this? This starts at our greeting process, okay? The second someone walks through that threshold, okay? What are we doing? How does that look? And we're gonna dive into that here a little bit later. Next piece being our intake process. That conversation with our members. What does that look like? How does that feel on the receiving end? And what are we actually looking to get from that? And then it finishes off with the handoff piece, right? Transferring that trust from that front desk person to our coach, okay? So why is this so important for us? First and foremost, we are overcoming objections prior to them actually surfacing. This is huge. We have to do this. More important than that, we uncover the why. Okay, that emotional hot button, that emotional reason why they took action. And then lastly, with a hand off, is we are transferring the trust. So now that I've garnered all this information, I need to be able to hand them over to somebody else and share that information and have that prospective member feel comfortable in the transferring of their goals, their hot buttons, their potential objections, transferring that over and then getting their butt kicked in something that is probably very uncomfortable to them because again, the vast majority of the population is not working out like we work out.
Okay, ready for area number 3?
So area number 3 is where we get to the fun stuff, right? We are actually presenting the price after that hand back piece. So hand back being, I now have Mr. Mike, who is the coach for me and is handing back to the front desk or studio manager that prospective member. Again, remember, I transferred trust after the intake. I handed off to Mike. Mike is now handing back to me. Now, in this process, it affords Mike the opportunity to be prescriptive in this. So that is the prescription sale. You were talking to a fitness professional at that point. Now, this is also where we kind of present the options. The prescription sale says, hey, here's what's going to take you all the way up to your goal, and here are the 2 options within that space. So really important that we dial this in. It's super, super simple, not super, super easy. So why do we do this? Well, like I said, it's our guided recommendation from a fitness professional. Okay, Mike, your fitness professional, has now said to get all the way to your goal of X and touch that hot button that we found out in that client intake. This is what I recommend that you do. He hands it back to me and says, Matt, can you get Mrs. Jones set up on a program that's going to take her all the way out to her goals? I recommend 4 days a week. Mrs. Jones, I now have the opportunity to ask her which of these 2 options works best for you, right? At the end of the day, we have to ask. We have to ask for the sale. If we're not asking for the sale, we will never, ever get it. And what we know is a closed mouth never gets fed. I don't know about you, but I like to eat, right? Let's get fed.
All right. So let's talk about area number 4, Matt, because this is your favorite.
This is.
You guys know what it is?
Referrals.
Yeah.
There we go. It kind of closes that loop for us. So I'm going to steal a little bit of what Emily said and what Billy said as well. Emily said it's smoother, and Billy said it affords you more opportunities for supplements and ancillary sales. We're always selling. Every conversation is sales. Well, referrals is no different. This is part of our ancillary sales, if you will, right? And because our process has been so smooth, and because we've built the confidence, we hand off, hand back. This member feels good about things. They're excited. We've touched on not only their goals, but their emotional reason why. Now is the time for us to ask for these referrals, right? Now's the time for us to grab these warm leads, right? And now's the time that we can start our infinite return, okay? Everyone aware of the infinite return principle? If not, you're going to learn about it here a little bit later today. But this is the way that we really exponentially grow your member base. We are also able to, at this point, by the more referrals that we get, we are obviously increasing our lead count. We're selling more members. So what does that do to our customer acquisition cost? Lowers it. Anybody interested in paying less to acquire a new member? Yes, right, cool. Anybody interested in paying less for leads? Cool, well, we can do that too. We talked about those bad months, down months, right? If we don't have that lead pipeline and we're not consistently building that, we fail, right? Bad month is a bad month. We don't want that. So what referrals do is, despite a slower lead month or despite a slower sales month, referrals are our internal stuff typically that will allow us to sustain business, to fight through down months, to fight through slower quarters, to fight through anything that the world decides to throw at us. Referrals fixes everything, I promise. This, at the end of the day, allows us to build this culture of referring, right? Because we've now made this member feel so comfortable. This member is now going to refer to me. How many referrals at the point of sale? 5, yes. 6, somebody say 6? I like it.
There you go.
Overachiever. So 5, right? 5 referrals. Now these people who come
6.
in on their referral. 6 if you're an overachiever, which I like, man. 7 would be impressive. I'm just saying. Danny, get him. Get him. No, really good. But these people have now come in as a member referral, right? Danny has said, Andrew, you got to check this place out, man. Soldier Fit is legit. You got to come on and check it out. I promise you're going to love the workout. It's going to kick your butt, but dude, you're going to feel so much better. You're going to look like this. Look at me, right? What happens now when Andrew's approached for referrals? We've created this culture of giving referrals, and he's like, I can definitely think of a couple people who are going to benefit from this. You know what? How many can I have? 6? Dude, I have 7. Is that okay? All right, it's okay. Okay, but it builds this culture, right? And this allows us to continually grow and sustain our business.
All right, so with that, we're going to bring up the next speaker. Thank you guys very much, and let's begin the training.